Okay, welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to see one of the most important, a very useful tool, that is MySQL Workbench. So what is this MySQL Workbench? So MySQL Workbench is a official graphical user interface tool for MySQL. So it allows you to design, create and browse your database schemas, work with the database objects and insert data, as well as design and run SQL queries to work with stored data. You can also migrate schemas and data from the other database vendors to your SQL databases. So this is a user interface where we can write our SQL queries and we can write our SQL commands and we can do certain operation with our database by using this graphical user interface. So it's a user-friendly software that allows you to interact with the database. So let's understand some basic feature of this graphical user interface. So MySQL Workbench is a visual tool for MySQL database management. Offerings the graphical interfaces means it's a user-friendly tool for designing and managing MySQL databases. So by using this workbench, we can create our databases, we can simplify the complex task into visual interface. So it's very visually, we can see, we can write the command, we can see our databases, we can understand about our table. So database design, we can design our databases by using MySQL Workbench. So SQL development, we can write a SQL query, we can write a commands, we can develop our command, supports the syntax, highlighting and code completion. So it's a server administration, manages MySQL server instances including user account management and service configuration. And data migration means easily migrate the data from various sources to MySQL database. By using MySQL Workbench, we can import the data from the other sources. We can connect the Python notebook and we can import the data from the Python notebook, and as well as we can export the data from SQL database to the Python notebook. So this is very useful tool us to understand in order to work with the data. So let's see some of the basic of this MySQL. So first let's understand how to download this. So I already have this MySQL Workbench, so I will share how to download this. So in order to download the MySQL Workbench, just go MySQL download in your Chrome. So here we find the MySQL downloads. Then this page will open. Here we have one option, that the downloads. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, after scrolling down, you will find here the MySQL community downloads. Click on that. After that, we have many options like a community, router, etc. Here we have to click on MySQL Workbench. Then after that, this screen will open. Here we have this option and we have the go to download page option. Click on that. Then we have the two option here. We need to select the second one. So after choosing the second option, we will find this two option like login or sign up. Here we also have another option, no thanks, just start my download. So you just need to click this. Okay, so I already have this, I don't download this. So you can, if you don't have in your system, you can download this by clicking this. After clicking this, the download will start, and you can find that after the download complete, you will find that in your download section, and go there and do all the things that is needed for download. Is to ask for some permission. Then you can download the custom as well as the full. In my PC, I downloaded the full option. You can choose anything, so you can download like that. Then after downloading it, you can set your password. Then after that, the SQL Workbench will open. So we need to also have some Visual C+ Studio for that. Then download that also. Then this page will open. After downloading your Workbench, you will find the Workbench in a search bar. Then search for MySQL Workbench. Then click on that. Then after that, this page like this, the software will open. Then here we have to choose first local instance MySQL. Then the interface open like this. So this is MySQL interface, Workbench interface. So here we can find many things that visually see our databases. So this screen where we write our SQL commands. So here I can write all my SQL command and I can run that. So when I write an SQL command and I run that, the output the execution message come over here. If it is correctly executed, it will come with the green signal of the right tick mark, and if there any problem with that command, it will give an error like the red color. Then here we have all our schemas. So schemas means our databases, so we can see all our databases over here. So here are two options, that is administration means when setting, then we have schemas over here. In that, here I can see all the schema that I have in my system. So by default it give the system schema, world, and like that. So these all are the schema I have created after working with this. So in the schema, I can click over here to see all the information. So for example, I have the schema like the practice. So in that schema, if I click over here, it will drop down a list that have the tables, views, like that. So if I click on the tables over here, it will open all the table that belongs to that practice database. So here I can Boston, brand specific information, ecom, food hub, many tables I have within this practice database. So I can click over here, it will open all the things for me, like the I can see the columns of the Boston data means table. I can see all the columns of that. So like that, I can see some brief overview of this all the database I have. So here the another thing is that, so how can I create a database? So if I want to create a database means my schema. So I just need to create database, then the database name. For example, I will give like YouTube. So I will give the name my data frame database as the YouTube. So all the query is ended by the semicolon, as we have the full stop for our sentence. When you complete the sentence, we'll put a full stop. Same way in the SQL command, we need to put one semicolon after completing. So if I want to execute this code, if I want to execute only this particular code, I can click it over here, or I can choose this code and click it over here to run this particular code, or I can click Control Enter to execute that code, particularly this code. So as we write more and more code, we need to execute not all the code we need to execute. We need to execute some current code. Then we have to click Control Enter. Then we can see it over here, the database created, database YouTube, that message came, the action output. So if I want to get this over here, I need to refresh because I just created that database. So if I refresh this, that we can see it over here that the YouTube database is created now. So this is how I can create a database. So after creating a database, I will do all the operation within that database. If I create a table, I can create a table within that database. So before creating that table within a database, I need to specify the system which database I am using to create a table, which database I have to use to create a table. So before doing writing any query, any commands, we need to specify which. Now we can see it over here in the among all the database, the practice database is highlighted with the black. So that means if I now create any table or write any query, it will search only in this database. So how can I move to this YouTube? So just I need to do, if I write a code, use YouTube. If I use YouTube, then semicolon. If I run this, you can see the YouTube is highlighted with the black now. It means from now it will search, it will do all the operation with this YouTube. Like that, I can first specify which database I am using. Then I started writing my all the command. So this is how I can write. If I write all the code queries or the SQL commands, then I want to execute everything. I just need to click here the yellow button. If I want to execute the particular query, I need to put my cursor over here, then I enter that, Control Enter. So this is how I can do the SQL command execute. So if I want to get the information of any databases, so for example, you can also do this same use YouTube by double clicking on the schemas over here. If I double click on the system is highlighted, then the practice. If I double click on this, the practice is highlighted. So you can do this same thing, the different method. So if I see it over here, I have the information and setting. So if I click on information, so we can get the information like this. So the schemas, I can see the tables of the practice database. I can see the columns like this and the indexes like this. I can see all the information regarding the database by using here the information. Okay, let's see some basic commands. Like, so if I want to use this practice database and I write a commands on that practice database, so I just first need to use that practice database. So I will use practice. So if I use practice and put semicolon and run that code, you can see the use practice is that run the code, and we can see that tick mark. So from now I can use that practice database. So if I want to show all the tables that belongs to that practice database, so I just need to use show tables. So if I use show tables here, so I can see all the table that belongs to that practice database. I can see it over here that Boston specified information, ecom, food hub, honey production, like that, all the tables that displayed here in the screen. So if I want to describe any particular table, I just need to use describe. That table name means the Boston here. So the Boston is my table over here. So if I use describe the Boston, it will give the information of that Boston table, like the field means all the columns, then the type of the data type of the or every column, like begin, double, and double begin, and the null value. So it will showing that whether this column is accept null value. So here I can see all the columns will accept null value. Then the default, there is no default value. So we will understand this in the next video. So this is the basic of this. We can understand the basic things about the workbench. So this is how I can use the workbench to do some operation with the database. I can see all my database over here in the schemas. I can run the queries, I can run the commands over here. I can run the specific, if I want to specific code to be run, I can highlight and click it, and I can also do the cursor over here and I can control enter. It will give the result. Then if I write any code without a correct syntax, so here I can see that if I write create and dgn and without colon, if I try to run this, it will give the error like this. So create, you can see the error message, you have an error in the SQL syntax. So if you have any error, it will give the error for you in the output screen. So then another thing for the SQL is not case sensitive. So you can write the command in a uppercase or in a lowercase, doesn't matter. So this is how I can create a database. So if I want to delete the database that I just created, what I need to do is I just need to drop database. So drop database, the database name, the YouTube that I just created, I will drop this. So I can see it over here, there is no database name, the YouTube, because I just dropped it. So this is how I can create a database, I can drop the database. So this is about this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.